for most of us, lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. That's the theme for our conference today. So a very warm welcome to you, literally, this morning, and I want to start by saying a thank you to everybody. In 2012-13, this has been a fantastic year for the Cabot Learning Federation, its academies, staff and students. This has been the year when we have had our greatest impact. Our original plan was to locate today in the academies, but once we knew the outcome of the recent inspections, it felt important to bring the whole Federation team together to share as one in that success. You remember last year I had some trouble with that word. I've been practicing. It's the only time it appears in the speech though, and I'm taking my chances. Today, we have doubled the annual income of local bus companies in the city by hiring what seems their entire fleet of coaches. And we have helped Bristol City Football Club to buy a new striker to get them promoted to League One. For me, a lifelong Cardiff City fan, this is an act of extraordinary charity. I love this quote from Michelangelo. It sums up perfectly what the Federation should be about. For many of our children, they need us to be ambitious for them and to believe relentlessly in their ability to be successful. Bristol as a city and Britain as a nation needs its young people to become great leaders, talented workers who can inspire others in their communities. This has to happen if we're going to make the next 50 to 100 years an era of unprecedented success for the United Kingdom. Setting our aims high has never been something I've found difficult. Turning them into a reality, however, is a lot harder. So without your incredible work, and as you can see, there are now over 1,000 of us employed by the Federation, educating nearly 6,000 young people, this would be a pipe dream. However, as you've seen this year, it's not a dream. It's becoming a reality for more and more of our young people. 2012-13 has been a really significant year for us in so many ways. Last August, our GCSE results were fantastic. 53% of the 702 children that were in year 11 last year gained 580 grades with English and Maths, the best we've done collectively. At Hans Price Academy, GCSE results improved from 23 to 45% in a year, whilst in the same period, King's Oak Academy improved from 32 to 52, and both academies found themselves in the top 25 most improved schools in the country. 3 new principals joined us in the Federation: John Angel at John Cabot Academy, Dr. Dan Nichols at Bristol Brunel, and Ros Farrell at Froome Vale Academy. Bath Community Academy joined the Federation, and Adam Williams took on his second headship in the CLF. Culverhay School ended the last academic year in special measures, but by the start of September, it was really obvious that a new confidence was emerging. The Academy admitted girls to a school on the site for the first time in 2012, and by February 2013, Ofsted judged the school to no longer require special measures. In September 2012, I was delighted that our 4 primary academies joined us, along with our partners at Fishponds Academy. I value the contribution that they make to the Federation day in and day out, and the collaborative culture that they have helped to move further on for us. In October, we appointed Susie Weaver to be the Principal Designate of Walscourt Farm Academy. Here are some of her pre-reception children at the painting of the Gromit Day at their new school. This school, the newest addition to the CLF Academy, will open in September with 60 reception-age students in a brand new building serving the Chiswick Village Estate next door to the University of the West of England. There are also many unsung heroes across the Federation who make a truly effective contribution to the academies that they work in. Normally, I wouldn't single out people for special praise, but today I want to make an exception because I want to recognise some of the hard work and dedication of colleagues who frequently go the extra mile to make the difference for our students, who the majority of you may have never met. When I've come to this part of it, those people, if they're with us in the conference there, I'd like you to stand up so that we can show our appreciation to you. Louise Dunbar is the family support worker at Summerhill Academy. Her total commitment to vulnerable children means that she always puts herself out if it means a child makes it into school that day. At Froome Vale Academy, Elspeth Crowley is a Year 2 teacher. She has led the UNICEF Rights Respected in School project. You see why I took your photograph on the other day now? To make a difference to the culture of the Academy. She has also led the English Heritage Project, which had a huge impact on both pupil and parental engagement. English Heritage was so impressed, they told the DFE, who then wrote her work up as a case study. Ben Rhodes is an assistant principal at King's Oak Academy and is a brilliant leader. He is also pretty resilient. Last term, he broke a bone in his neck playing rugby, and despite having considerable discomfort, he came into school and carried on work as normal, including during the Ofsted inspection. At BCA, I want to acknowledge the work of Peter Paddy Curran, he's the one on the left, who works in the building services team. Paddy has an incredible work ethic and regularly starts work way before his hours suggest he should. It's not unusual for him to be on site at 5 in the morning and is the personification of Team BCA. Tom Hooper teaches PE at Bristol Met, having been a newly qualified teacher at Culverhay School last year. Tom has had a massive impact on the Federation, including running the first Federation-wide parkour event. This included a trip for Bristol Met and Bath Community Academy students to Paris, the home of parkour. This has had untold impact on the self-esteem of the boys involved. The Federation House team have been amazing this year. In September, their workload doubled literally as we moved from 5 academies to 10 overnight. Much of their work goes unseen, but they are the engine room that keeps our Federation ticking over smoothly. This year, they have processed over 13,500 invoices and overseen the appointment of 185 staff. Colleagues, join me in showing our appreciation for that small cross-section of our group. If staff go the extra mile, we shouldn't forget that some of our students also cope with incredible challenges every day as well. At Bedbrook Primary Academy, we have a young man in Year 5 who moved to the school a year ago. He has been moved repeatedly as carer placements broke down due to his extreme behaviour. He also has a 40-minute taxi ride every day due to these placement problems. His long-term social worker left during this year too, and he was told a few weeks ago that he won't see his mother in the foreseeable future. Yet he's moving forward in so many ways. His behaviour is better, no incidents in school since Easter, and he's learning. He has made 3 sub-levels progress in reading and writing, and 2 sub-levels progress in maths. At King's Oak Academy, a Year 11 student, Rowan Brewer, has worked brilliantly throughout Year 11, in spite of the fact he's awaiting a kidney transplant. At Minerva Primary Academy, we have a boy in Year 2 who was permanently excluded from his previous school and hadn't attended school for nearly 5 months. This little boy has had only 2 serious incidents since joining NPA in January, and both times has been full of remorse and reflection. And Mum is engaging with us and supports our decisions. She knows that the Academy is committed to helping her child. This is a boy who was failing at the age of 6, but is now ready to enter Year 3, ready to achieve above average attainment in the future. At Bristol Met, we have Stephen Lamb, a young man who suffers from Tourette's, yet managed to sit all of his exams. He makes a fantastic contribution to the life of Met as a singer, filmmaker, and student leader. And finally, at Bath Community Academy, Kai Winchester is a Year 8 student who lacks confidence in himself and who on so many different levels is very vulnerable. He attended another local secondary school in Year 7 in 2011-12 and was so negatively affected that he has joined BCA to start Year 7 again. Benefiting from the Bath Community Vertical Key Stage 3 curriculum, he now astounds his mum that he can walk to and from school on his own, and he also attended a paintballing trip and survived it. In the first 2 weeks of this term, Ofsted came calling. In fact, they came calling 4 times. The new inspection framework is rightly challenging. Only schools that are doing their best for the most vulnerable students should be graded good or outstanding in my view. And that is why I'm so proud of the judgments that were made about us. This means that since 2009, every Federation Academy that has been inspected has been judged to be at least good. Our aim from day one was to do something extraordinary for the children in our care, and we can now say proudly that we have done this. For many staff, it's the first time for ages, or perhaps ever, that they are able to hold their heads up high and say that they work in a good school. For many students and their families, it's the same. There's no magic wand to instantly improve school performance. It's just bloody hard work at times, but the formula can be simple. When we teach brilliantly, lead with intelligence and compassion, support with empathy and skill, students achieve and they make great progress. And that's what we're doing now. The journey from 2013 to 2016 has to be focused on moving our schools from good to outstanding. Good is not going to be good enough, I'm afraid, for our children. If you believe in our students as I do, and you believe that as adults and professionals we are capable of producing great outcomes, then outstanding has to be our aim. I could spend the whole morning talking to you about some of the brilliant comments in the reports, but time is against us. However, I'd like to pick out 5 statements that I think describes what we're about in the Federation. Bedbrook Primary Academy went first on June the 4th and 5th. Duncan Cruikshank is an excellent principal and has built the foundations for the success of his academy on the quality of teaching and learning. The inspectors wrote of him that his determined and ambitious leadership has enabled the school to improve at a rapid pace, and the teaching is typically good and a small proportion of lessons outstanding. In September 2012, Dr. Dan Nichols became the 3rd principal at BBA, and this year he has built on the foundations set by Armando and Bridget and taken the school onto a new level. So know that the Academy is now a securely good school and on the way to outstanding is a fantastic achievement for the staff and the leaders in the Academy. Dan's excellent leadership was recognised in the report. The strong leadership of the new principal and his ability to bring out the best in other people is a significant factor in the Academy's growing success. Targeted professional development and regular opportunities for staff to share and develop classroom practice are used well to drive further improvements in teaching. At King's Oak Academy, the progress since September 2011 is truly impressive. Not only did we see the GCSE results rise dramatically last summer, but the good judgment came on the back of Kingsfield School having the notice to improve less than 3 years ago. Ian Frost was appointed principal in May 2011, and his leadership was identified as a core part of the success. The Academy has transformed under the determined and inspiring leadership of the principal. Students' achievements are improving rapidly. Students make good progress and are well prepared for the next stage of their educational work. And then there is Hans Price Academy. For many years, the staff and students have worked in a town where others have been only too pleased to see Wyvern Community Schools struggle. When a local authority invited potential sponsors to the table to discuss the future of the school as an academy in 2009, it was only the CLF that wanted to take on the challenge and make a difference. What's happened has been remarkable by any standards. The improvement in results in 2012 has now been followed by the recent good judgment. The inspectors recognised the leadership from Armando and his team. They spoke in the report of the way that the determined and highly motivated leaders at Hans Price Academy ensure that all those who attend flourish, which contributes extremely well to the strong improvement of students' academic and personal development. Now you may say I am biased, but I'd like to think that the Federation had a role to play in this. In all 4 inspections, there was recognition of our support, the professional development opportunities, the role of the board and academy councils, and the hard work and dedication of the team who work with me across the schools. And I was especially proud of 2 comments that you can find in the reports. One says, the Cabot Learning Federation has provided training programs of the highest quality for middle managers, such as subject and key stage leaders. This is important to me because we've invested so much time in this aspect of our work. The depth and range of expertise that exists across the Cabot Learning Federation is used well to enhance the Academy's current trajectory of improvement, which again I think for me outlines the capacity that we have to speed up improvements in our schools so that more students get to go to good and outstanding schools. So whilst this conference today is about looking back over our shoulders to celebrate our amazing year, it's also time to think about the future. Currently it's my responsibility to provide challenge and support to 11 of our academies. I am pleased that my work and that of the Federation has been seen as being key to the success of our schools, but it isn't sustainable to continue in this way. To do so runs the risk that we slow down the progress and become less effective in the future. We must focus on creating outstanding standards in all of our academies, and we need to change the way we do some things. For this reason, I want to tell you about how the CLF leadership model will be restructured from November this year. We will create across the Federation 3 improvement clusters that will be made up of 2 secondary and 2 primary academies each. And each cluster will be led by an executive principal who will combine the leadership of their own academy with additional support and monitoring for the 3 other schools in their group. In the first instance, this will be a pilot that will run from next year to August 2015. I have no doubt that the leadership team that I have been so proud to lead since we started the Federation has the talent to take on this new and additional responsibility. I also have no doubt we have colleagues at middle and senior leadership level who are ready to take on more responsibility to ensure that we have the capacity to achieve our ambitious goals. It's one of the reasons why so much of my time and energy has been put into the development of leaders across the organisation. My role will be to assure the quality of this work and hopefully with the additional capacity that this development will give me, spend more time doing the parts of the job that for me are the most satisfying, which is to see learning taking place and the quality of teaching that is now becoming embedded across the Federation. At this stage, I don't know who the 3 executive principals are going to be, and I don't know which academies will be in which cluster. That's for after some holidays, and we'll agree that by the end of term 1. And the conference at UE on November the 4th will enable us to launch this and describe in more detail how it will work and ultimately be an even more secure model of school improvement leadership.